In the world of aviation, few aircraft have left as lasting an impression as the Piper J-3 Cub. It's simple, lightweight, and often described as a flying lawn chair. Yet, despite its humble appearance, the Cub has become one of the world's most beloved aircraft. The Cub is the plane that taught America how to fly. The story of the Piper J-3 Cub begins in the late 1930s. The United States was still recovering from the Depression, and while aviation was growing, it was far from being accessible to the average person. Enter William T. Piper, a man with a vision to create an affordable, easy-to-fly aircraft that could make flying a reality for everyone. Piper's vision took shape with the J-3 Cub, a two-seat, high-wing monoplane that was as simple as it was effective. The aircraft featured a basic steel tube frame covered with fabric, a small 65-horsepower Continental engine, and a straightforward cockpit layout. It was designed to be economical both to build and to fly, making it the perfect entry-level aircraft for aspiring pilots. The J-3 Cub's design emphasized simplicity and ease of use. The high wing provided excellent visibility, a crucial feature for both training and low-altitude flying. The aircraft's lightweight construction meant it could take off and land on short runways or grass strips, which made it ideal for rural airstrips and remote locations. Step inside the cockpit of the Piper J-3 Cub and you'll find a layout that's as straightforward as the aircraft itself. The first thing you'll notice is a seating arrangement. Unlike most aircraft, the pilot sits in the rear seat with the passenger or instructor in the front. This setup was designed to keep the aircraft's center of gravity balanced, especially during solo flights. The cockpit is minimal, with just the essentials: airspeed indicator, altimeter, tachometer, oil pressure. There's no fancy avionics here, just the basics to keep the aircraft flying safely. This simplicity is what made the Cub such a fantastic training aircraft, forcing pilots to develop strong, basic flying skills without relying on technology. The control stick is positioned between the pilot's knees, connected directly to the ailerons and elevator. It's a hands-on flying experience where you can feel every movement of the aircraft. The rudder pedals are similarly responsive, giving you full control over the Cub's flight path. There's a sense of connection between the pilot and machine in this Cub. It's hard to find that in most modern aircraft. The throttle is mounted on the left side of the cockpit within easy reach of the pilot's hand. With such a simple layout, the Cub requires a light touch and an understanding of basic aerodynamics. This is flying in its purest form. No autopilot, no advanced navigation, just you and the airplane. The Piper Cub quickly became a hit. Its low cost and ease of operation made it an ideal aircraft for flight training, recreational flying, and even agricultural work. But it was during World War II that the Cub truly earned its place in aviation history. As the US entered the war, the demand for pilots skyrocketed, and the Cub was there to meet that need. The Grasshopper was used to train thousands of pilots who would go on to fly more advanced aircraft in combat. The Cub's forgiving flight characteristics and excellent visibility made it the perfect aircraft to teach the basics of flight. It was also used for reconnaissance, liaison duties, and even medical evacuation in forward areas. After the war, many of these pilots returned home with a love for flying, and for many, the first plane they purchased was a J-3 Cub. This led to a boom in civilian aviation, with the Cub becoming a staple at airfields across the country. It was the aircraft that turned ordinary people into pilots, bringing the dream of flight to a new generation. But the Cub wasn't without its challenges. Its simplicity, while a strength, also meant it lacked many of the features found in more modern aircraft. The Cub has no electrical system, so there's no radio, no lights, no starter. Starting the engine requires a pilot to hand crank the propeller, a process that can be tricky and even dangerous for the uninitiated. Despite these limitations, its lightweight design makes it incredibly nimble, and its slow flying speed allows for precise control and low-level flying, perfect for sightseeing, photography, and even backcountry flying. The Cub's ability to land on short, rough airstrips has made it a favorite among bush pilots and adventurers. Today, more than 80 years after its introduction, the Cub is still flying. Many are lovingly restored and maintained by enthusiasts who appreciate its place in aviation history. The Cub's are a reminder of a time when flying was a simple, joyful experience, free from the complexities of modern aviation. The legacy of the Piper J-3 Cub is one of accessibility and inspiration. It's the plane that made flying possible for so many, and it continues to inspire new generations of pilots to take to the skies. The Cub may be small, but its impact on aviation is anything but that. It's a symbol of the freedom and adventure that flying offers, and it remains one of the most iconic aircraft in the world.